The physical wreckage of the 1940s forced a total reorganization of how nations interacted. To prevent a repeat of that destruction, the world agreed on a rigid structure that would define the next 80 years. This machine relied on specialized roles. China provided the manufacturing labor, Japan acted as the primary lender by maintaining 0% interest rates to keep the system liquid, and Europe functioned as the world's buyer, sacrificing its military strength for domestic social welfare. The United States took the role of the enforcer through what's known as the Proof of Weapons Network. Under this arrangement, global trade required U.S. dollars to purchase energy, the petrodollar, and the U.S. military ensured every participant followed the rules. Maintaining the dollar's status as the world's reserve currency required the U.S. to prioritize global liquidity over domestic production. By consistently importing more than it exported, the U.S. ensured other nations had enough dollars to buy energy. This policy favored a stable global financial network, but it also incentivized U.S. companies to move their factories to lower-cost nations, effectively hollowing out the American manufacturing base to keep the global cycle moving. Today, that cycle is breaking. Several nations have built enough economic and military power to form their own systems, meaning the enforcement network can no longer dictate terms without risking a major global conflict that no one wants to fight. At the World Economic Forum in Davos, the figures managing this global structure admitted that the era of globalization has failed. Its benefits for the West have vanished, leaving behind a fragile dependency on other nations for basic goods. This long-standing framework has reached its limit. We are entering a period of high friction, as hidden factions race to define the next set of rules for global power. The first faction is transnational capital, also known as the financial globalists. These entities do not represent the interests of any specific nation. They are focused on the movement of money, which can be anywhere at any time. At the top of this group are asset managers like BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. Together, they manage tens of trillions of dollars. Because they control so much investment capital, they use their voting rights to influence the decisions of nearly every major corporation on Earth. These managers are pushing for a process called tokenization. By putting assets like real estate or stocks on a blockchain, they can trade them instantly across the globe. This removes the friction of national borders, allowing money to bypass the traditional controls of any single government. This creates a direct conflict with the central banks. If capital can move through these private digital channels, the old banking institutions lose their ability to monitor and tax those flows. Central bankers are already warning that their dominance is under threat. They are looking for a way to maintain what they call a durable equilibrium in a world trying to move past them. Their solution is the central bank digital currency, or CBDC. These programmable currencies allow banks to keep money regulated, acting as a digital dam against private tokenized assets. A third competitor in this space is the crypto lobby. They are advocating for a system of fair competition, where decentralized stablecoins can offer higher interest rates than traditional bank deposits, directly challenging the bank's primary source of power. The location of power is moving from the physical border to the digital transaction rail. Whoever wins this struggle will control how every dollar is spent and saved in the next era. Outside the world of finance, we find the sovereigns. These are the leaders of nuclear-armed nations who view the borderless nature of global capital as a threat to their survival and domestic order. Vladimir Putin represents a sovereign power that prioritizes direct government control over natural resources. He is less concerned with stock market growth and more focused on ensuring that only the Russian state can drill for and sell Russian oil. China's Xi Jinping follows a similar path, choosing state-led growth and regional expansion over the requirements of Western financial markets. These leaders are willing to accept slower growth and economic sanctions to maintain their independence. They use strict laws, heavy trade tariffs, and military force to protect their energy, industry, and security from outside influence. The third faction consists of the technocrats. They focus on efficiency, scale, and digital networks. They are often politically agnostic, selling their tech, like social credit scores and automated identity systems, to whichever power structure provides the funding and data access. Finally, the military-industrial complex provides the enforcement layer. They thrive on the instability caused by these competing factions, securing the contracts to build the hardware that reinforces the new boundaries being drawn. The interaction between these four pillars, financial, sovereign, tech, and military, is a constant exchange of power. Each is trying to gain leverage over the others to ensure their interests lead the next global framework. The current geopolitical shift functions on mechanical reality and competing incentives. We are watching a high-stakes calculation where each faction is trying to secure its position before the new rules of the game are finalized. The headlines we see daily are often forms of geopolitical posturing. Nations and factions create these crises to test each other's limits and establish how much leverage they actually have at the negotiating table. In regions like Venezuela, the conflict often serves as a proxy for these larger powers. It allows them to demonstrate their reach and willingness to use force without engaging in a direct, larger-scale war. The same logic applies to the interest in Greenland. This is about securing future resources and establishing geographic claims while the boundaries of the new system are still fluid. By engaging in this theater, the major players are establishing their relative strength. This posturing allows them to map out the range of possible outcomes and negotiate the terms of their future cooperation before the final rules are set. Global conflicts are algorithmically driven performances that play out while the new global architecture is finalized. Recognizing the incentives of the financial, sovereign, tech, and military players allows us to see these events as a structured process of transition rather than random chaos.